Michael had always felt invisible. As a child, he was the quiet one in the classroom, the boy who blended into the background while others shined. He grew up hearing the same words over and over. You're too soft-spoken. You're not leader material. You're not important enough. He carried those words into adulthood, believing them, letting them shape his life like an invisible cage. When he got his first job, he stayed in the shadows, never speaking up in meetings. When opportunities came, he let them pass, convinced that he wasn't meant for greatness. Even in his church, he felt like just another face in the crowd. Who would ever listen to someone like me, he thought. He had convinced himself that his life had no real impact. He was just there. One evening, after yet another day of being overlooked and unheard, Michael sat alone in his tiny apartment, scrolling through his phone, numbing himself with distractions. Then, he stumbled upon a video of a man making a simple but powerful statement. Salt changes everything it touches. Without it, food is bland, tasteless, and lifeless. But with it, even the simplest meal is transformed. And guess what? Jesus said you are the salt of the earth. Michael felt something shift inside him. He grabbed his Bible, dusted it off, and found the verse. Matthew 5:13. You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its flavor, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything, except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. He read it over and over. It wasn't a suggestion. It wasn't a possibility. It was a declaration. Jesus wasn't saying, you might be the salt of the earth if you try hard enough. He was saying, you are the salt of the earth. For the first time in his life, Michael realized that he wasn't meant to be invisible. He wasn't created to be overlooked. Salt may be small, but it carries power. A tiny pinch can bring out flavor in an entire meal. A single grain can preserve and transform. And so could he. That night, he made a decision. He wouldn't stay silent anymore. He wouldn't sit on the sidelines of life, waiting to be noticed. He would step into his God-given identity. The next morning at work, when his boss asked for ideas, he spoke up. His suggestion was met with enthusiasm. The following week at church, he volunteered to help with outreach, something he never imagined himself doing. And as time went on, something incredible happened. People started noticing him. But more importantly, he started noticing himself. His words carried weight. His presence brought encouragement. His actions inspired change. He wasn't just existing anymore. He was impacting. Salt doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be the biggest ingredient in the room. It just has to show up and do what it was created to do, make a difference. If you've ever felt invisible, unimportant, or overlooked, let me remind you, you are the salt of the earth. Your presence, your kindness, your words, and your actions all have the power to bring flavor to the lives around you. The world needs what you carry. Don't let fear or insecurity make you lose your saltiness. You weren't made to blend in. You were made to stand out, to bring change, to preserve truth, and to make life richer for those around you. Jesus didn't make a mistake when he called you salt. So step into it. Be bold. Be present. Be who you were created to be. Because the world without you, it just wouldn't taste the same.